Hey, what's up everyone? Kabanamani456 here today. Kind of just doing a video here giving you my E3 2012 impressions on Nintendo's press conference. Because the video really isn't a recap or anything because, as you all know, so many people have done recaps already. I think you all already know what Nintendo's kind of announced at E3 2012 and stuff, what's been shown, so I don't think I really need to do another one. But, I'm just going to kind of give you my opinions, my impressions, what I think Nintendo did well, what I think Nintendo should have done, and then some things that I think people are overreacting over, and, people really expected too much. So, but anyway, I guess I'll go on into what I liked about Nintendo's press conference. So, I liked how basically with this E3 2000, with their press conference, it was mostly about gameplay over anything else. While we still kind of heard a few things about, the Wii U, how it's an amazing system, some few things about the hardware and stuff, they didn't just ramble on and on about some peripheral or something like that, like with Microsoft, where they talked about like Kinect or something, or Kinect games for like 50 minutes of their conference, and then the Sony with their Wonder Book, to where it was like 40 minutes of that. They didn't go into that. They just showed games. And they only had an hour, which I actually felt was more satisfying to watch than, Microsoft's and Sony's press conferences. And, that's what I liked about it, how they focused on gameplay, actually showing us something, and showing us games that are actually going to be coming out soon, that we're actually going to be able to play soon, instead of just showing us games that, are going to be coming out in 3 or 4 years or something like that, or to take forever to actually come out. Also, I liked how Nintendo kind of talked a bit about the hardware with the Wii U gamepad. Basically, they confirmed that the system now will actually support 2 Wii U gamepads instead of just one, which was one thing some people were concerned about. And kind of glad they kind of talked about that. Also, the online capabilities at the pre-E3 press conference and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool how we kind of got to hear some things about that with the hardware. And also another thing I absolutely loved was Pikmin 3. I thought that looked amazing. The graphics, the environments, the attention to detail and everything. It was just amazing. I thought it was a really impressive game. Glad that Nintendo actually brought that franchise back. And, it looked absolutely gorgeous. And then New Super Mario Bros. U looked pretty interesting, even though it is a game that some people have already seen a lot. Like we saw that last year and stuff, how it was kind of gonna look and stuff. But we basically saw the final build of it this year, and it should be coming out around launch time of the Wii U. And I think that was actually a pretty smart move. I don't like how it kind of seems like Nintendo is milking Mario a bit too much, because we already have New Super Mario Bros. 2 coming for the 3DS, and then we have Super Mario 3D Land last year, we had Mario Kart 7, we had Mario Sports Mix, we have like the Galaxy games. There are just so many Mario games, and it is kind of getting a bit annoying to see Mario all the time. But I think it was a smart move because Nintendo knows that with the Wii, the best-selling game besides Wii Sports was New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Because of the multiplayer, it was classic Mario, people understood what it was simple, they're like, ooh, I must get this game, it is amazing. So, I think it was a smart move that Nintendo did this, and if it's a launch title, that's a very smart move because, people are going to be like, it's Mario, I want it. It's a 2D Mario game, I can get 5 people actually playing the game, and it should be a lot of fun, so I think that was a pretty smart move. It's just that, they are kind of milking the Mario series a bit, so I guess that's kind of like, has some pros and cons about it. And another thing that I liked was that Nintendo showed and put a lot of emphasis on the third-party developers, basically showing us that Nintendo actually can get these third parties that actually support their system. Like we saw Darksiders 2, we saw Mass Effect 3, which was a big surprise to me, never did expect it. Saw Batman Arkham City Armored Edition, there's like Ninja Gaiden, games like that. And, I kind of liked how Nintendo actually managed to get this third-party support and show it off, basically showing that they can get games for the hardcore gamers, and then they can also get games for the casual gamers. And, like games basically just for like a younger audience and then an older audience. Let me put it like that, because hardcore gaming isn't about what games you play, it's about how you treat gaming and what your views are on gaming. So, let me forget about that, not hardcore gamers, younger and older audience. So, yeah, I kind of liked how they showed that. And then another thing I really liked was that they actually had a couple of Wii U exclusives, like Zombie U, looks pretty interesting. There was also Rayman Legends, which I've heard from many people is the best game that's coming to the Wii U, and it's going to be a launch title, I believe, actually. And you know, people were really impressed with that game because, you know, Rayman Origins was a really good game when it came out at launch. People were excited about it, thought it looked amazing and stuff, and it was a really good game, a really good platformer. And this game, it kind of takes it to the next level with a multiplayer and stuff, with the Wii U gamepad and stuff. There are just some pretty interesting ways to actually take advantage of the Wii U gamepad and help out your fellow players playing with Wii U, like Controller Pro or stuff like that. And then another thing, I also liked how Nintendo showed off the Controller Pro for the Wii U, basically letting people, like, you know, it kind of looks like an Xbox 360 controller, and you know, I think it'll be a great way for people to cross-platform games and stuff, and instead of just having to always use the gamepad and stuff, because not everyone likes that gamepad. It's kind of big, and even though it is lightweight, some people just don't like it. So for the people who want like the actual controller and stuff, I think that's kind of cool how they actually did that. And people can use either that or the Wii Motion Plus with the remotes and stuff and nunchucks, or they can use the gamepad, which I thought was pretty cool. But now I guess I'll go on and go into what I thought Nintendo should have done and some of the things I didn't like about Nintendo's press conference. And one thing I've been thinking about a lot lately, kind of putting my thoughts together, piecing things together, and you know, one thing I really didn't like that Nintendo didn't go too much into detail was the actual hardware. I mean, sure, it's great to see games and stuff, and that's what's more important. I mean, hardware, it's great and all, but I mean, you gotta have games to back it up. Like, look at the PS Vita right now. It has amazing hardware. I think it's amazing. It's an amazing system, but it hasn't had the games to back it up yet. I mean, it had a pretty good launch lineup and stuff, but those games got old, and then next thing you know, we have nothing to play. And I haven't played my Vita in like a month or two. So, I liked how Nintendo showed games, but I wish they could have gone into the hardware a bit more and kind of actually impress us with the graphical capabilities of the Wii U, to where they actually went into detail talking about how it was a next generation console, even though it is. You know, I wish it kind of went more into detail about it, because today actually there was something Ubisoft basically said that the Wii U is going to be 1.5 times, like, it's basically an Xbox 360 and then half the power of that, like Xbox 360 and PS3. So it's like 1.5 times powerful. And, you know, that's good and all. I mean, at least it's better than those other systems. And we already kind of knew that because the system runs on AMD Radeon GPU. Don't really know what version it is, though. What I really was hoping for was that Nintendo would show Unreal Engine 4. And here's why. And I know that graphics aren't the most important thing, but gameplay is the #1 most important thing. But graphics are very important, and here's why. Basically, Nintendo doesn't support Unreal Engine 4 with the Wii U. They're gonna be digging themselves into a huge hole, because they're gonna basically put themselves in the same situation as the Wii, to where people are, like, with Unreal Engine, like, people are gonna, with the next generation console, like PS4, Xbox 720, whatever it's gonna be called, those systems are most definitely gonna run on Unreal Engine 4. And if Nintendo doesn't have it, that's going to kill their third-party support even more, because some third parties aren't really that impressed with the system already. We've kind of heard with some third parties, oh my gosh, it's an amazing system, we love it, and that's really good and all, but there's some third parties who are like, we're more impressed with the PlayStation 4 and the 720, because you know Sony and Microsoft are already working on those systems, just not revealing a single thing about it yet. So you know, if Nintendo doesn't have Unreal Engine 4, it's not going to be able to keep up with those systems, and it's not going to have those third-party titles that some third parties with cross-platform. It would probably just be the same thing, to where people would have to develop a new game for the Wii, and then they'd have to develop new games for the other systems. And not everyone wants to do that. They don't want to spend all that money developing on games. That's why with Xbox 360 and the Sony PS3, they just cross-platform those games. And the PS3 games usually aren't as good as the 360 games, because, you know, because the PS3 has a different architecture, and people don't want to spend the time or money to actually develop for the PS3 and spend a lot more money when it's simpler to just make the 360 version and then just port it over to the PS3 with just a few minor glitches or sometimes kind of big glitches. So if that's the case with 360 and PS3, why would they do it with the Wii U to where, you know, the Wii U may not be able to actually handle these games? Would they even want to develop for the system? Because, you know, I mean, they want it to be impressive. They want their game to look impressive and stuff, but, you know, they still want to not spend so much money making different games for different consoles and stuff. So that's one thing that's kind of been on my mind a lot. I don't want Nintendo to have that same problem with the Wii. I don't want them to have the same problem with the Wii U that they had with the Wii, to where, you know, people thought it was amazing at first, they grasped onto it, they were like, wow, it's amazing, it sold like hotcakes, people started developing games for it at first, and then later moved to 360 and PS3 because more people got those. So, or more people had got like HD TVs and stuff, and the Wii just couldn't keep up graphically. That's another thing I want to go on and go into. And, you know, the Wii U, something about it is just kind of confusing for consumers to pick up on. Because some people still think the Wii U is just a game, like a tablet controller that you just buy for your Wii. They think it's a new peripheral. Not everyone realizes it's a new console. And I know some people are kind of dumb, no offense, but, you know, you gotta think about that. I know us gamers and stuff, we're gonna be like, wow, you're an idiot, or something like that. But it's kind of, like, the name is kind of confusing. The look, it kind of looks the same. Nintendo hasn't really put too much emphasis on the console itself, mostly just the controller. And it's just kind of gotten confusing for people. So that's one thing that I kind of have a problem with. Because with the Wii before, when it came out, it was easy to grasp onto. People knew it was a new system. It had that wow factor to where, you know, it had motion controls. It was simple to grasp onto. I mean, everyone and their mom and their grandma and their grandpa could play it. And it was like, that's what really got people interested. It could, like the audience, it just pulled those people in. Because it was something that was new technology. It was affordable. It's like $250 compared to the other consoles being around $500 or $600. And, you know, that's why people bought it. But with the Wii U, it's like a tablet controller. Some people don't really grasp it. They're like, wait, I have an iPad. Why get the Wii U since I have an iPad? And, you know, it's a bit too complicated for some people, I guess. I wish Nintendo had changed the name of the system. But I kind of see how they're trying to make it like a sequel to the Wii U and get, like, a sequel to the Wii and get people to realize, you know, the Wii U basically can support all the Wii, like everything the Wii did and stuff. But, you know, I think that's one thing that's really confusing, and Nintendo needs to really market the system and talk more about the console, while still talking about the gamepad controller, because that's really important, but talk about the console as well, because they just haven't done a really good job portraying that it's a totally brand new system to everyone. So yeah, basically Nintendo just needs to come out and say whether or not the Wii U is going to support Unreal Engine 4, and they do need to support Unreal Engine 4, because that's going to be very vital in their third-party support. Because not everyone wants to buy multiple consoles just so that they can play this certain game or that certain game. Because, you know, I love the first-party support of the Wii U and stuff, but I don't want to have to buy another console just so that I can play this certain third-party game because the Wii U isn't powerful enough. And that's another thing I want to get into. Even though it could be more expensive for the Wii U to actually support Unreal Engine 4, I would not mind if they charged around $350 or $400 just so that it could support it. Because basically, if they do not support it, they're going to be in the same problem they are with the Wii right now. And with the Wii U, I mean, even if it is a bit expensive, a bit pricey then, I think that when those other consoles come out, manufacturing is going to go down for the Wii U to where it's going to be more, the prices are going to drop for actually building the Wii U. And I think Nintendo could have a price drop to kind of actually go against the, you know, the PS4 and the 720, so that when those consoles come out, they're going to be more expensive, but the Wii U is still going to be able to play those games that will be on the PS4 and the 720. So people will be hopefully more inclined to actually buy the Wii U, to where it kind of has the game controller tech, like new tech and stuff, but it can still play those other games. I want it to kind of still, because we already know the other consoles are going to be more expensive. I want it though to be like the PS2 of the game, like of the GameCube, like the PS2 of that generation where they had the GameCube and the Xbox, to where people still, the PS2 just sold like hotcakes because it was more affordable, and they could still play the other games that were on the other consoles that people wanted. So I want the Wii U to kind of be something like that. And now I guess I'll go into this stuff about Nintendo E3 press conference, to where I think people expected too much and kind of misunderstood what Nintendo was trying to actually do at this press conference. So as you all know, there were a lot of rumors going on before E3, to where people were like, Nintendo's going to announce a new retro game and stuff, like from Retro Studios. There's going to be like a Star Fox game or a Metroid game, something like that, or F-Zero. And, when Nintendo actually didn't deliver, that was kind of disappointing for some people. And people were like, this was the worst E3 ever and stuff. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. But, I think what Nintendo was trying to prevent themselves from doing was doing the same thing they did with the 3DS, to where they show all these amazing games, and then they get all people's, people excited and stuff about, like, the 3DS. But then when the launch actually comes, oh wait, those games aren't actually coming out for until another 6 months or maybe even a year or two. Because think about it, like Super Mario 3D Land took a while for that to come out. Mario Kart 7 took a while for that to come out. It's taken a long time for Paper Mario to come out, and that was shown when the 3DS was actually revealed. It's taken forever for Animal Crossing to come out. Heck, we don't even know when Animal Crossing is going to be coming out. It's supposedly not coming out this year because, this year, they didn't even announce it whatsoever. Like, they just kind of ignored it and just talking about New Super Mario Bros. 2 and Paper Mario. So they just showed a ton of games that have taken forever to come out, and I think that's what Nintendo tried to prevent themselves from doing it this year. Like, not getting too many people excited about these games that are going to take forever to develop and actually come out, but show these games that are really good, really interesting, that aren't like shovelware or anything like that, but will be coming out very soon around the Wii U's launch, like actually coming out on the Wii U's launch, or actually coming out soon after that, so that people can realize these are games that I can actually get my hands on very soon. So I think that's what Nintendo was really trying to accomplish with their press conference, actually showing a good launch lineup so that people can be excited for that. And some people just kind of expected to see something like humongous or something like that. They expected to see a Brawl teaser. We can't really expect to see a new Super Smash Bros. Game when they just started development on the game about a month or two ago. They're so early into the development stages. They're probably just brainstorming right now, actually. They haven't really accomplished anything just yet, because Sakurai just said in a recent interview, since he just finished Kid Icarus Uprising, it's probably going to take another 2, 3, or 4 years till the next Smash Bros. Games actually comes out. And that is why I think Nintendo actually, because with last year's E3, Nintendo showed all these games that looked amazing and stuff. They announced Super Smash Bros. Coming to the Wii U and the 3DS, when that game's not going to be coming out for forever. And it's just got these people all excited, but they're like, when is it going to come out? They shouldn't have announced it that soon. If they were going to announce it then, we shouldn't have to wait like 4 years, 3 or 4 years for it. I think the max should be only 2 years, not that long. I mean, I think it was a terrible move last year. And then also with Nintendo kind of showing the tech demos and stuff, I think that's another thing that threw people off, where people were expecting to see Zelda. I mean, Zelda Skyward Sword just came out last year. It takes a while to make Zelda games. You don't want Nintendo to be milking, like, people are already kind of tired of Nintendo milking Mario to where they make a new Mario game every year, 2 games every year. Why do you want Nintendo to do the same thing with Zelda? That series is like a masterpiece, to where it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of thought to actually make. So basically, last year's tech demo with the Zelda Wii U was just to show the capabilities of the system in real time. Basically, like Unreal's tech demos, like Unreal Engine 4. Like, some people are complaining about how when they're gonna see that game, or they think like the story's bullcrappy in that game. It's a tech demo. Don't expect a game to actually come out of that. It was just there. Unreal Engine 4 is just basically shown to actually show the capabilities of the system. Zelda Wii U was the same thing, so don't expect to see a game this year. And yeah, it's just kind of gone, it's kind of gone crazy what some people expect. You don't want Nintendo to rush these games just to please you all. As Miyamoto said before, he'd rather delay a game and have it be a masterpiece than release a game early and have it forever be like a mess. And I'm kind of paraphrasing that, but yeah, basically you don't want Nintendo to do that. That's why Nintendo games are so good. They take their time, they put like a ton of effort into these games. While not all of them are perfect or anything, they actually try to take their time to make these games as good as possible. And another thing I've noticed is that a lot of people are really bashing on Nintendo Land, which is kind of funny because, from what I've heard from people who've played the game on the E3 show floor, they've talked about how the game is actually really good, and at the E3 press conference didn't show it justice, give it justice. Because if you all did not know this, Nintendo Land has like 12 attractions from 12 different franchises from Nintendo's history. I believe they have a Mario game, they have a Luigi game, like the Luigi's Mansion demo we saw. Then they also have an F-Zero game, they have a Metroid game, they have a Zelda game, they have a Donkey Kong game. They have all these different games in the game, in this game. It's like a compilation of mini games from different Nintendo franchises. And people haven't really checked out the videos. That's the thing that really I don't understand. People expect all this stuff to be shown off, revealed at E3 2012 in the press conference when Nintendo only had a freaking hour. They didn't have an hour and 30 minutes. And if you actually wanted to see all those games, because guess what? Nintendo said they had 23 games on the show floor. We probably only saw around 10 games at Nintendo's press conference. Heck, some people don't even know that there's a Wario game coming to the Wii U. It's like a Game & Wario game, I believe. It's like a compilation of mini games. That's going to be coming out to the Wii U. So, people just haven't really taken the time to check out the stuff that comes out after E3's press conference or what's going on at the show floor, and they're just like, oh my gosh, it's the worst E3 ever. So yeah, I really find that frustrating, but Nintendo Land actually looks like a good game. I think what Nintendo actually is doing with that game is kind of giving us a taste of what Nintendo can do with their online system, what they can do with the system's capabilities graphically and stuff, and also what you can actually do with the system, like with the controller. It's kind of like Wii Sports, but they're trying to actually put more effort into it to where they're actually putting Nintendo's franchises in there. And that's the thing, Nintendo is really serious about this game. That's why they didn't call it Wii U Land or anything. They called it Nintendo Land because they want all these great franchises to be in the game, to where it kind of pleases everyone. They're mini games, but they want them to be fun mini games to where you come back to them and play them with friends and stuff, and something that has actually pretty good replay value. And here's what I think about it, like with all these little compilation of mini games, I think what Nintendo is trying to do, it's basically a ginormous fan service to all the people who like these different series and stuff, like F-Zero, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, Luigi, all those games like that. It's a giant fan service, and I think if Nintendo actually got some good feedback on the game to where people are like, ooh, I like this mini game a lot, or ooh, I like this mini game a lot, I think people would actually, I think Nintendo would actually probably release a new F-Zero game or a new Metroid game, because Nintendo's talked about how they don't really have any like really great ideas for the next F-Zero game. But I think if people were actually wanted it that much, I think Nintendo would actually focus on F-Zero and try to actually bring a new game for us. And that's another thing I kind of find interesting, like with the online system. I think Nintendo will actually be able to track and see how much people play these sort of mini games or something. Who knows, maybe with the online service, we don't really know everything. But I think it would be cool if Nintendo could do that so that they can see which games are being played the most, so that they can decide which series they actually want to continue on with. So I think Nintendo Land is actually a pretty good idea. I think it should be a pretty fun game. I think it's not going to be as great as other games like Pikmin 3 or something, but I think it's still going to be a pretty good, decent game. But yeah, that's basically my I guess, my impressions on Nintendo's E3 press conference. I kind of rambled a lot in this video, and you know, some people probably didn't even watch the full video, but I just kind of wanted to give you all my impressions, because I've just been hearing a lot of hate, a lot of people, you know, expecting so much from Nintendo this E3. It's just kind of been like, really? You expected that much? Like, you expected Nintendo to drop the whole, like I don't know, like you expected Nintendo to show every single freaking franchise and then within an hour? I mean, seriously, come on. So, you know, I thought it was a good press conference. It wasn't the best, but it was still pretty good. I think Nintendo, in my opinion, won the show. I know some people think Ubisoft won the show, and the Ubisoft show was actually pretty good, pretty surprising, but I actually like Nintendo's more. But one thing's for sure, I'm getting a Wii U. No doubts about it. Gonna get at launch. Gonna get as many games as possible. And I'm really, really pumped about the Wii U. I think you should be too. You know, Nintendo's gonna have like a year ahead of time, like over the other consoles. So hopefully Nintendo can kind of get these third parties actually jump on the bandwagon, the Nintendo train with Reggie Fils-Aimé, the Reginator, and you know, get people, you know, interested into the system to where, you know, people will actually buy this system first, and then not have to be concerned about whether or not they're going to miss third-party games on the other consoles. So that's why I'm saying Unreal Engine 4 is probably the most important thing Nintendo needs to announce and needs to confirm, so that people won't have to be concerned about whether or not they're going to miss any third-party titles when the Wii U comes out. So, but yeah, that basically does it. So thanks again for watching. Sorry if I rambled a bit too much. Give me your opinions in the comments below. Like I said, I think that's what Nintendo focused on at E3 2012, just the launch games, so that people wouldn't be expecting so much and then have to realize that they have to wait another 2 or 3 years for these games to actually come out. But what Nintendo was trying to do was show all these great games that are still going to be coming out very soon, around like during the launch of the Wii U, or very soon, shortly after the Wii U's launch. So, but yeah, I'm gonna end this now. So thanks again. See y'all. Have a good day.